Hey there, my name is Tracy, and this is the 3-Wick Thesis candle channel. Today I have for you an episode of my Lighting the Way series. I did go on a little bit of a no-buy with White Barn from Bath & Body Works. I've been on a no-buy pretty much since I picked up Fiji White Sands. I just feel like the jars continue to have issues. There's always sooting, it duds out. There's just all these issues that I was over it and said I'm not going to do these candles anymore unless they change the jar. They recently did a reset of this line and they came out with all new jars with color-coded matching lids, and this is a new fragrance that I'm giving a try. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to get one. I'm going to burn it more than halfway for this episode. So normally my Lighting the Way, I'll just get kind of like a third of the way through. But with this one, I'm going to spend a lot of time with it, try to get down really towards the bottom so that I can report back with accurate information about how the quality has changed with these new jars. We'll see. It might not change at all, but I have hope and I wanted to give them a chance. So this one is their Lavender Bergamot fragrance. Love this purple. It is so gorgeous. And then all of the new line has the same type of lid. It's like a matte finish White Barn embossed lid that is color coded with the base. So you'll notice this one's just a little bit lighter than the jar, and then it matches the label on the front. So really pretty, attractive to the eye. I'll go ahead and post a video here of the new series. I took this in store a couple of days after the floor reset. So quite a few fragrances to choose from and quite a few colors to choose from. Really, really pretty in terms of their look. So let's talk about Lavender Bergamot. It includes bright lavender, bold bergamot zest, and warm tonka bean. The bergamot in this is really nice. It is zesty. I get that really like sharp, bright note from the citrus, but I also feel like this is what bergamot is supposed to smell like. When I think of bergamot, I think of the scent I get when I drink like an Earl Grey tea, and that's what this bergamot smells like. Sometimes I think it can be too perfumey or almost come off kind of cologne-y, but this just feels very natural, very citrusy, and very zesty. The lavender is in there, but it's not too strong or too forward. It just adds kind of like this hint of sweetness. I would almost compare the lavender in this to like the lavender in Pine Candle, where it's there, it's in the background, but it's really just complementing the sharpness and the brightness of the other scents. So in the lavender and pine, I felt like it complemented the sharpness and brightness of the pine, whereas in this one, I feel like it's complementing the sharpness and the brightness from the bergamot. And honestly, y'all, I don't get much tonka in this at all. And it's specifically tonka bean, which tends to be really heavy on like vanilla or almond notes. It usually comes off as kind of a warm nutty or a warm spice. And I don't get it. It could be playing really nicely with the lavender, and what I'm thinking is sweet floral might actually be tonka. But I don't get a strong sense of it at all, which is disappointing because I really like tonka, but maybe it will come to life when it's lit. They did move to what looks like core wicks in these candles. This one has core wicks, white wax, and you can see the jar is just a little bit transparent. So when this lights, you'll be able to see the burn through the label. All right, y'all, I'm going to go out and run my little experiment. I'm going to burn this more than halfway. I'm going to try to get down to like right here and report back to you. One, so that you have a better understanding of how this fragrance smells on warm, but mostly because I am testing you out, Mr. White Barn. I want to know, did this jar change the burn quality? And if it did, I'm green lighting White Barn candles again. And if it did not, I'm back to no buy, and this will be my only purchase this season of White Barn. All right, y'all, I'll be right back after the cut with my candle performance rubric. All right, y'all, so I am 6 burns in on this candle, and I just want to take a moment and share with you a quick video clip of what it's looking like. So far, the burn has been amazing. It's been clean. It hasn't been sooting. I don't see much wick residue in the wax pool. Super impressed so far, but I'm going to keep going. I will say, however, that I'm having some serious issues with throw. I feel like I cannot smell this candle at all. So because I'm concerned that this could be a new jar issue and not just a this scent issue, I decided to go out and buy a second White Barn candle, and I'm going to burn this Kitchen Lemon one just as a way to test whether or not there are throw issues. So I'm going to light this one up for the first time, and if it does smell strong on the first or second burn, then I'll know it's just the Lavender Bergamot that has throw issues. But if this one also doesn't have throw, I'm going to keep burning, and I'll be back after the next cut to share with you more information about whether or not this seems to be a series throw issue or a one-off, and it's just the issue with that particular fragrance. So now, back to the research. All right, y'all, I have spent a lot of time with this candle. In fact, I did finish it off, and I want to share with you what I found, and I have some good news. So in terms of scent quality, on warm, this is a beautiful fragrance. The bergamot in it reminds me of the bergamot that's in Bookloft. It has that similar vibe. The lavender is really well balanced between a sweet lavender and a more earthy lavender. And then those two fragrances together just really balance each other out. I feel like the floral helps to tone down the sharpness of the bergamot, and they just blend together beautifully. I will say that I am seriously craving the scent note on the bottom that says warm tonka bean because I don't get that. And I did notice too on the front of the jar, which I may have missed earlier, it says vanilla bean. So which one is it? Is it vanilla bean? Is it tonka? And why can't I smell either of them? Now, I know tonka bean can smell like vanilla, but those are not the same beans, and I can't smell it anyways. So I did end up assigning it a B in terms of scent quality. Now, throw on this has got some problems, okay? I put it in my husband's office, which is a converted garage. It has no windows, and you can shut the door, and it's literally like a fireproofed space. That's how closed off it is. Put it down there, closed the door, and waited for it to full pool. Opened the door, it came down, and was like, is it lit? Like, I actually thought it had burned out. Got to probably 3 feet from his desk, and I could smell it. So, not a good thrower. I also, because I was researching this one, was burning it 2 to 3 times a day over the last week, and I would burn it in a room with other candles because really I was just checking burn quality more than anything else. I could never smell this one over whatever else I was burning in the room. So serious throw issues. So I did end up assigning it a D in terms of throw. Disappointing because it's a beautiful fragrance. Now, as I mentioned in the little mid-cut, I thought maybe this could be a series issue, and that had me concerned. I did go out and buy the Kitchen Lemon. I burned it the first time, no throw. Burned it a second time, no throw. Burned it a third time, whoa, it came to life. That one is a beautiful fragrance. I will have a Lighting the Way episode on that candle as well, but that one just livened up at the third burn, and it was strong. It was like walking into a wall of lemon, juicy, sweet lemon. It's beautiful. So it's not, now I only have a sample size of 2, right? In social science, that's our N. That's not high enough to generalize, but my guess would be this isn't a series issue. This is probably a Lavender Bergamot issue. And we know other bergamot candles have similar throw problems, so that could just be a bergamot fragrance issue. So I would say in terms of throw, don't expect all the candles in this series to be a D. I'm just going to assign it to this one for now, and I think in general we might have some luck with throw on this one. The really stellar difference, vast improvement, is the burn quality. So you'll see I took this all the way down to the Wick nickels. This did self-extinguish, which prior to that burn, I'm going to go ahead and show you my video here. This is the second to last burn. And that wax pool is clean, spotless. There is a bug in it. I don't know if that's going to come through. It was drawn to the light. But in general, super clean, not a lot of wax residue. The carbon heads look good. There's no soot or wick residue lining the jar. Beautiful, beautiful, clean burn. And if you look at the empty, there's no soot along that edge. Nothing. And even the bottom where I let it self-extinguish is just a little bit murky. But just, I mean, gorgeous, y'all. Now, compare that to, and we're going to do a side-by-side because this is last fall's version. It's the equivalent sort of series, right? So this is what the old jar with the old lid looks like. This is the new jar with the new lid. And if you look at the inside of this one, it tells a very different story. So you can see all this soot all the way up. There's also like soot rings, like sediment, because the wax pool was so dirty that it literally left rings of soot while it was vaporizing into the air. You can see more soot over here. Let's compare the two wax pools. You can see that the one on the right is much darker. And just look at those differences in terms of soot in the jar. So it's incredibly different. And that could be, you know, this one has, does this have vanilla in it? Sometimes vanilla candles. No, it doesn't. Never mind. I was going to give this the benefit of a doubt and say, well, maybe it's the vanilla fragrance in here, but it doesn't. The pumpkin spice latte has pie spice, espresso, whipped cream, and cinnamon. So, yeah, and this smells like soot. This one does not. It still smells like lavender. Don't get much of the bergamot at the end, but I do get the lavender. So these are different. Also, I noticed the inside of this jar, I don't know if that'll pick up. It looks glossy. It feels glossy. The inside of this one is matte. And actually, you can hear it. Do you hear? That's the matte. I'm making the noise with the other one. You can't hear it. It's slippery. So this one's slippery and this one's matte. So I'm wondering if changing that finish on the inside created a cleaner burn. Also, babysat this. I did not let this ever burn out of control. Usually 2 hours at a time was all I could get before I felt like the flames were getting dangerously high. So as long as you're trimming your wicks, watching your burn, these are phenomenal. And I suggest you pick one up. I gave it an A for burn quality, which might be my first white barn candle with an A, y'all. Oh my gosh. So exciting. It's like when you teach siblings and you have the first couple and you're like, oh boy, this third one, and then the third one's stellar. That's how it works. So this one's stellar. Perfect, beautiful improvement. So happy about that. Glad to have at least this series back on my buy list. I'm still not going to buy the other White Barn, the neutrals, the ones that are still matte. We'll see if they redo those. I will purchase them. But for now, I'm sticking to their basics. They're the ones that come in these new color-coded jars. So in terms of aesthetic, I did assign it a B. I just think, you know, it lacks some uniqueness. I know that's the point, right? It's supposed to be simple. So to some regard, I thought, well, maybe I should give it, you know, an A because it's how it's supposed to be. But I got to be objective. It's lacking uniqueness. This looks like all the other ones in the line. The only difference is the color. But I do love the matte lid with the glossy jar. I love that contrast. It adds like a nice textural component. So overall, I ended up assigning this candle a B. I feel like that's a little bit harsh. It's really getting marked down from the throw. I love this scent and I really like the burn quality. So I might rebuy this one, but it would probably be designated as a bathroom candle just because it's not very strong, or I would designate it to a lamp. I did not try lamping this at all just because I wanted this to be a burn candle for the research. I might repurchase it and try lamping it and see if that helps with the throw. So I'm not entirely giving up on it, but if you're looking for something with strong throw, I don't recommend it. However, I do recommend the new jars. I think they will perform for you. And if you have bought these already and burned them, please leave me a comment below and let me know if you had a similar experience or if your experience was different, because I want to build our sample size so we have more representative data of what the experience is out there with these candles. All right, y'all. I hope that helped guide your way to purchasing the new White Barn candles, the relabel, the repackaging. I hope you're excited to get out there and try a couple of these now that I've done this review and we see that they can perform and be clean and gorgeous as I think they should be. If you appreciated this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. That always makes me feel good. And if you aren't already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching my video today, and I'll see you again in a little bit. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.